Headwear is one of humanity's oldest and most universal inventions. For thousands of years, people across the globe have placed objects on their heads. Not just decoration, hats serve vital functions. They protect us from sun, rain, and cold. In dangerous jobs, hats guard against falling objects. Beyond utility, headwear signals identity and role. Material and form can reflect status, community, and belief. Faiths around the world are recognizable by distinct head coverings. The story begins in our deep past. A 27,000-year-old figurine seems to show a woven cap, or perhaps an elaborate hairstyle. We cannot be certain, but it suggests early value placed on head coverings. From humble protection grew a visual language of meaning. In Mesopotamia, by the early 3rd millennium BCE, headwear marked authority. Rulers wore simple circlets and diadem-like bands. Over time, these evolved into more ornate, often conical headdresses. Crowns linked rulers to the gods, signaling divine right to rule. Egypt refined a complex system of crowns, each with specific meaning. The Peshent combined the white hedjit of Upper Egypt and red deshret of Lower Egypt. The blue khepresh signified military might. Even gods had signature headwear for easy identification in art. Ordinary workers wore linen skull caps and headcloths against the sun. Simple textiles offered practical protection and comfort. Materials, from humble flax to gold and lapis, broadcast social rank. The uraeus, often crafted in gold, embodied divine authority and protection. Substance and style instantly communicated place within the ancient world. In the classical world, the Phrygian cap was a soft, conical hat with the tip pulled forward. Originating in Phrygia, Greek art used it to signify people from the east, like Paris of Troy. Typically made of wool or felt, it later became a potent revolutionary symbol. Centuries on, the form evoked liberty. Rome adopted a similar cap, the palliaus. At manumission, a freed slave received the palliaus, a public sign of liberty. The palliaus appears beside libertas on Roman coins. Day-to-day urban life was largely hatless for men. Travelers wore the patassos, a felt or straw, wide-brimmed hat for sun and rain. Hermes's winged patassos linked the hat to movement and travel. Roman workers used broad brims for protection in the field. Women covered the head with veils or the toga, signaling modesty and respectability. From the 5th to 15th centuries, hats mirrored a rigid social order. Royalty and nobility wore elaborate headwear of costly materials. Commoners favored straw in summer and wool, or felt coifs for warmth. The coif, a close-fitting cap, kept hair clean and added insulation. Professions became identifiable by distinctive caps. The 15th century hennin rose in Burgundy and France as a dramatic cone or steeple. Often topped with long veils, some reached extraordinary heights. Built on frames and covered in rich fabrics, the hennin declared elite status. Sumptuary laws regulated who could wear what. Fur trims and expensive textiles were legally restricted to higher ranks. Clothing and headwear acted as a shared code of identity. A hat was never just personal choice. It publicly stated one's place in society. From the 14th to 17th centuries, trade and wealth fueled new headwear design. Hats became more elaborate, decorative, and personal. Professional milliners rose to prominence. The term derives from Milan. Felt, from matted wool or fur fibers, enabled sculptural shapes. Men's berets thrived, often in velvet or silk, adorned with plumes and badges. Craftsmanship signaled sophistication for both men and women. Women moved from towering hennins to softer frames that showcased hair. Covered styles still conveyed modesty, status, and exquisite workmanship. Headwear reflected growing national identities. Distinct silhouettes, from Spain's tall felts to Germany's plume-laden brims, telegraphed status and place. A glance at a hat revealed class and culture. Headwear became part of Europe's cultural map. 18th century fashion reached new heights of elegance. The tricorn solved soldiers' brim problems and became a fashion essential. Felt quality and ornament broadcast rank and taste. It was central to social etiquette, including the respectful hat tip. Women's headwear adapted to immense powdered coiffures. Architected hair became a decorative spectacle. Hairstyles could carry playful or political messages. Traditional hats gave way to perched brims and caps to accommodate height. The picture hat's broad brim suited the era's dramatic scale. An age where hairstyle dictated headwear. Fashion and function balanced in theatrical harmony. The silhouette of the century remains instantly recognizable. The Victorian century industrialized production and standardized style. The top hat became the signature of civility and status. Built from silk, plush-on felt, or buckram, it projected urban sophistication. Mechanization lowered costs and widened access to fashion. Created in 1849 for head protection, the bowler suited workers and later businessmen. Women's bonnets framed the face, signaling modesty and respectability. Styles evolved with changing tastes. Fashion's demand for feathers spurred harmful trade and conservation responses. Hats functioned as a social uniform, occupation and class at a glance. Going out bareheaded could be seen as improper. Nearly everyone wore a hat, and every hat had its place. The great age of the hat as social signifier had fully arrived. The 20th century began with hats as social necessity. Fedoras and Homburgs for men. Cloche hats matched the flapper bob. Different hats still marked time of day and formality. After World War II, universal hat wearing began to decline. Automobiles made hats impractical in confined cabins. Looser social customs reduced dress requirements. Youth movements rejected formal headwear. Kennedy's bareheaded image symbolized a new informality. By the 1970s and 80s, hats were choices, not obligations. Function remained, warmth and sun protection. Headwear became signals of music scenes and identity. Hats shifted from uniform to personal expression. Two modern staples dominate, the baseball cap and the beanie, born in the 1860s for sun shading on the field. Hip-hop propelled the cap into worldwide everyday fashion. Today it's ubiquitous across ages and cultures. The beanie, a close-fitting knit cap, echoes historic Monmouth caps. It spread through work and winter sports. Subcultures cemented its cool, practical appeal, a unisex staple in countless variations. Beyond these, fedora, flat cap, and wide-brimmed straw remain popular. The internet and travel broaden access to global styles. The bucket hat illustrates revival cycles across communities. Faith-based coverings remain powerful symbols of identity. From Ötzi's cap to today's streetwear, headwear threads through our history. It began with protection against sun, cold, and rain. That practical role endures in daily life. As societies complexified, hats also became symbols of rank and role. Fashion turned hats into canvases for artistry. They express taste, wealth, and individuality. Styles vanish and return with fresh meaning. Reinvention keeps headwear alive in culture. We live amid unprecedented freedom in headwear. A hat can be tool, statement, symbol of community, or just fun. Across eras, hats protect, identify, and express. From crowns to caps, our crowning glory continues, one hat at a time.